Yeah, as I said, at the risk of being repetitive, Emmylou, the Nash Ramblers, that was Manson on the Hill, written by Bruce Springsteen. You are joining Swannie in the Morning 107.9. Remember, it's all about the country, it's all about the West, as reflected in great country music. I'm also going to profile today, even though Ed, my producer, Ed, I'm going to do it, even though Ed, my producer, doesn't necessarily like me to talk about Western movies. I like to talk about Western movies, and hey, it's my program, so I'm going to profile an old standard, and we'll talk about that as we get into the show. Again, it is a great day in Vail. It's a day that I think all of you that are here visiting and the locals there's a lot to do. It's been cold. We've had snow. The winter elk herd is moving around. You'll be able to see them in a couple of places. My boys down at the Calhoun Ranch, they're listening this morning. So big hello to Gary, Harry, and Larry down those. Please remember, KLNX is a public radio program that relies on public support. We serve the Vail Valley, and we're ensconced right here in Minturn, Colorado. Please get in and when you're in the area, come in and see some of my friends, some of the shops here. Scarab, man, they got some nice stuff. I'm telling you, some nice rugs, some nice items that fit well in anybody's condo and anybody's home. Holy Toledo, secondhand store bar none for some great clothes. The Treasures open up a outlet here. Man, they got some neat stuff. And, of course, my man across the street here, Weston Snowboards, you got to get in and see him. Please remember, court-appointed special advocates provide service to children who are victims of abuse and neglect. Court-appointed special advocates, volunteers, work with the courts advocating for children in Eagle Summit and Lake counties. Volunteers stay with each case until it is closed and the child is placed in a safe, permanent home. If you are interested in volunteering for CASA and giving children a voice, then please call 970-513-9390. Now, I am going to play one more cut from Emmylou's and Nash Rambler's CD, and then we'll get into, I might play a George Strait, and then we'll get into some other Texas-based musicians. I wouldn't be surprised if Bert and Betsy are up already two-stepping to this. Title, as I said, is Scotland, written by Bill Monroe, Emmylou Harris, and the Nash Ramblers. I'm now going to go over to A piece that I think you folks will recognize. It's by the great one, George Strait. And here you go.
I still feel 25 most of the time. I still raise a little Cain with the boys. Honky tonks and pretty women, Lord, I'm still right there with them, singing above the crowd and the noise. Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote
Troubadour is the name of the song. It's George Strait from down in Texas. That's the name of the CD.
When I'm gone. Well, the truth about a mirror is that a damned old mirror don't really tell the whole truth. It don't show what's deep inside or read between the lines, and it's really no reflection of my youth. Sometimes I feel like Jesse James, still trying to make a name, knowing nothing's gonna change what I am. I was a young troubadour when I wrote in on a song. I'll be an old troubadour when I'm
This boy is the real deal. Great voice, 50 number ones over his life. Got a restricted now tour that he does, and but man, he still got the voice. He is still a great musician and a great proxy for country and western music.
I'll be an old troubadour when I'm gone.
So there you have it, Emmylou Harris. I had played several pieces from her cut CD where she performed live at the Ryman, and that was George Strait and his Troubadour. Oh man, that's Troubadour. Get the R in there, Swannie. So anyway, that was Troubadour, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to actually circle back to one of my very early programs back in September. I've been at this now 8 weeks, believe it or not. And some of you may say, well, that's enough. No, it's not enough. It's I enjoy doing it. I enjoy having you with me Saturday mornings here in Minturn and here in the Vail Valley. I'm going to circle back and play the regional sound as it is that has actually worked its way into becoming country music. But what's unique about Texas music, and I think you just heard it when I played Emmylou Harris, who's a great proxy for Texas, as is the great one George Strait. Texas music, incidentally, really is known for fusing traditional instruments with the outspoken, carefree, straightforward lyrics. Kind of a take-it-or-leave-it approach, I guess. And the theme, the comical, the witty undertones, intense live performances, that really tends to be a hallmark of a lot of the musicians that come out of Texas. They love to interact and do live performances with their bands and with their groups. They combine really stripped-down music, and the lyrical content is really storytelling at its finest, I think. And I'm going to play one of my favorite guys who I think most of you have heard of him. Actually, I play this guy quite often. I'm talking about none other than Robert Earl Keen, but I'm going to play a couple of his pieces. Well, no, I guess I'll just play one, Ed. I'm sorry. I'm going to play Stay a Little Longer a little later, Ed, which is Bob Wills, because he really was one of the founding members of the Texas Sound. But right now I'm going to play Gringo Honeymoon, and this is by, as I said, Robert Earl Keen.
We were standing on a mountaintop where the cactus flowers grow. I was wishing that the world would stop when you said we'd better go. We took a rowboat across the Rio Grande. Captain Pablo was our guide. For $2 and a weathered hand, he rowed us to the other side. And we were dreaming like the end was not inside, and we dreamed all afternoon. We asked the world away so we could celebrate a gringo honeymoon. We stepped out onto the golden sand. The sun was high and burning down. Rented donkeys from an old blind man, saddled up and rode to town. Tied the donkeys to an ironwood tree by the street where children played. We went in the first place we could see, serving cold beer in the shade. And we were drinking like the end was not inside, and we drank all afternoon. We asked the world away so we could celebrate a gringo honeymoon. Met a cowboy who said that he was running from the DEA. He left his home, his wife and family when he made his getaway. We followed him on down a street of dust to his one-room rundown shack. He blew a smoke ring and he smiled at us. I ain't never going back. And we were flying like the end was not inside, and we sold that afternoon. We asked the world away so we could celebrate a gringo honeymoon. He said there's one last place that you should go. He took us to the town's best bar.
Listen to the lyrics. Great storytelling.
Who played an old gut string guitar, and he sang like Marty Robbins could, played like no one I've known. For a while we knew that life was good, and it was ours to take back home. And we were singing like the end was not inside, and we sang all afternoon. We asked the world away so we could celebrate a gringo honeymoon. We were standing on a mountaintop where the cactus flowers grow. I was wishing that the world would stop when you said we better go.
Yeah, that's Robert Earl Keen singing Gringo Honeymoon. This is Swanee 107.9. Thank you, folks. Remember, Radio Free Minturn is supported in part by Crazy Mountain Brewing Company, located in Edwards at the North Star Center, lower level behind the Subway sandwiches. Crazy Mountain Microbrewery and a tasting room are open to the public. Get in there. They got some craft beers. They got some seasonal beers. I love those boys and girls. And I want you to get in and say hello, a big hello. Say Swanee sent you. Also, I think Terry's about ready to open up her shop any occasion down there in Edwards. And she's a good friend of mine, and they got a neat little shop, and you got to get in and see them. I see that my man, Lee in the Woods, is listening in on www.minturnradio.org. I appreciate that. I've got some family here this weekend. I got my son, his wife, who runs the show, Bernadette, and their 3 young kids. So they are here, and I know there are a lot of visitors. Enjoy it, everybody. It is fun time in the Vail Valley. Now, back to Robert Earl Keen. This is his, I think this is his signature song, quite frankly. It's called The Road Goes On Forever.
Sarah was a waitress at the only joint in town. She had a reputation as a girl who'd been around. Down Main Street at midnight, a brand new pack of cigs, a fresh one hanging from her lips, a beer between her legs. She'd ride down to the river and meet with all her friends. The road goes on forever and the party never ends. Sonny was a loner, he was older than the rest. He was going in the Navy, but he couldn't pass the test. So he hung around town, he sold a little pot. The law guy went to Sonny, one day got caught. But he was back in business when they set him free again. The road goes on forever and the party never ends.
Oh, yeah, baby. Get up, get dancing, squeeze your baby. 2-step, 3-step, line dance. This is it.
Drunk and out of town and put his hand in Sherry's skirt. Sonny took his pool key, laid the dog out on the floor, stuffed a dollar in a tip jar, walked on out the door. She's running right behind him, reaching for his hand. The road goes on forever and the party never ends. They jumped to his pickup, Sonny jammed her down in gear. Sonny looked at Sherry, said, let's get on out of here. The stars high above them and the moon was in the east. The sun was setting on them when they reached Miami Beach. They got a motel by the water and a Port of Bombay gin. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. They soon ran out of money, but Sonny knew a man that knew some Cuban refugees that dealt in contraband. Sonny met the Cubans at a house just off the road with a briefcase full of money, a pistol in his boot. The cards are on the table when the law came busting in. The road goes on forever and the party never ends. The Cubans grabbed the goodies and Sonny grabbed the jack. He broke a bathroom window and they climbed on out the back. She drove the pickup through the alley on the side. Well, on my tackle Sonny and was reading him his rights. She stepped into the alley with a single shot 410. The road goes on forever and the party never ends.
Listen to the fiddles playing. There's actually 2 guys that are playing the fiddles in this band and in this piece. I'll tell you a little bit about the fiddles in a bit.
at this. She watched him as his taillights disappeared around the bend. The road goes on forever, the party never ends. It's mansion after midnight just like it was before. 21 months later at the local grocery store. Sherry buys a paper and a cold six-pack of beer. The headlines read it's sunny, it's going to the chair. She pulls back on a main street in her new Mercedes Benz. The road goes on forever and the party never ends.
Yeah, Robert Earl Keen, The Road Goes On Forever. And what I had mentioned for you, to you actually, is you heard the fiddle in the background. Actually, he has two fiddle players in that band in that particular song, which, as I indicated, is, I think, his signature song, The Road Goes On Forever. He really exemplifies Texas swing, Texas music. And I think what's important about that is, in fact, that the fiddle is prominent in his band. And why that's important, here's a little history lesson from old Swannie. The origins of country music really came out of southern Appalachia. And back in the 1910s, believe it or not, the music that came out of the southern Appalachian area always featured a fiddle player or two. And in 1910 and in 1920s, it's that particular Southern Appalachian sound morphed itself into the very early definition of what country is. There actually was a guy, believe it or not, named Eck as in E-C-K being the first name, Robertson, who I think in 1920, 21, 22, somewhere in there, actually recorded the first commercial Appalachian sound, which immediately got the label country sound. and he had recorded that on the old Victor label. So that's Swannie's history lesson for the day. Now let me get back to another piece by Robert Earl Keen. This is called Mariano. And again, Swannie, Saturday morning. Thanks, everybody. It's going to be a fun day.
Man outside who works for me, his name is Mariano. He cuts and trims the grass for me. He makes the flowers bloom. He says that he comes from a place not far from Guanajuato. It's 2 days on a bus from here, a lifetime from this room. I fix his meals and talk to him in my own broken Spanish. He points at things and tells me names of things I can't recall. And sometimes I just can't but help from wondering who this man is, and if when he is gone, will he remember me at all? I've watched him close, he works just like a piston in an engine. He only stops to take a drink and smoke a cigarette. But when the day is ended, I look outside my window. There on the horizon, Mariano's silhouette. He sits upon a stone in a southeasterly direction. I know my charts, I know that he is thinking of his home. I've never been the sort to say I'm into intuition, but I swear I see the faces of the ones he calls his own. Their skin is brown as potter's clay, their eyes void of expression. Their hair is black as widow's dreams, their dreams are all but gone. They're ancient as the vision of a sacrificial virgin, and in the sun is crying from a baby being born. And they hover around a dying flame and pray for his protection. Their prayers are often answered by his letters in the mail. He sends them colored figures he cuts from strips of paper, and all his weekly wages, saving nothing for himself. It's been a while since I've seen the face of Mariano. The border guards, they came one day and took him far away. I hope that he is safe down there at home in Guanajuato. I worry though, I read there's revolution every day.
Yeah, Robert Earl Keen, and he exemplifies what's all great about the sounds that come out of Texas. The lyrical content, the music, the storytelling. Keen was born, I think he was born in Houston. I certainly know he was. Yeah, I believe it is Houston. He currently lives, I know, in the Texas Hill Country. He made his splash, actually, I think, in Austin with a debut album called No Conda Dancer. And it actually was in 1984. He actually couldn't find a producer, so he actually self-produced the piece. In 84, I think he spent a grand total of $4,000 to get it produced, and he got some success in Nashville, playing the circuit, playing the honky-tonks and the nightclubs there. Moved to Nashville and spent a lot of time in Nashville in the 80s, but then I'm not going to say reinvented himself, but moved back to Texas where his roots were, and because he loved the honky-tonks, he loved the tour, he loved the interaction with his audience. And so there he is. He is my proxy for great music that comes out of Texas, and a lot of great music does. As you know, I played Emmylou earlier. I played George Strait. That was Robert Earl Keen. Now I'm going to do a 180 on you, and I'm going to play Bob Wills. And for, I don't know, many of you, if you listen to one of my earlier programs, probably back in October, I did play some Bob Wills. Bob Wills, I think, is probably the father or the grandfather of Texas music, in the sense that he personified and created music that was called the Texas swing. Now that happened to be because of that particular era. Swing music was being played on the radio. Dances, entertainment was in fact swing music, and the Texas rendition of swing music actually was started, and Bob Wills was a real showman. I love this boy when he came out on the stage. Not that I saw him, but I certainly know of him. He came out on the stage. He was all dressed up, new cowboy boots, new shirt, big buckle. Man, it looked like the guy just came out of Axles. And my friends over there in Vail, he really was all dressed up. So I'm going to play a little bit of Stay a Little Longer, which is one of Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys. This is a piece of his that really personifies the swing component of Texas music.
Let's all stay a little longer.
Yeah, I know, Ed. I know it's a different sound than Robert Earl Keen, but the point is it's a baseline for how Texas music has gotten to be so prevalent in country music today.
The number on the gate, the number on the door, and the next house over is a grocery store. Stay all night, stay a little longer, dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer. Cause the bridge washed out at the bottom of the hill.
Right,
big
Tommy.
creek's up and the big creek's level. Plow my corn with the double shovel. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer. Sitting in the window, singing to my love. The slop bucket fell from the window above. Mule and the grasshopper eating ice cream. Mule got sick and we laid him on the beam. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer. Grab your gal and pat her on the head. If she don't like biscuits, feed her cornbread. The girls on Big Creek about half grown. They jump on a man like a dog on a bone. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer. Stay all night, stay a little longer. Dance all night, dance a little longer. Pull off your coat, throw it in the corner. Don't see why you don't stay a little longer.
Yeah, Bob Wills, Stay a Little Longer. Swannie 107.9 right here in the Crucible of KLNX in Minturn, Colorado. Thanks, everybody, for joining me today. Please remember, be kind to each other. There's a lot of activity. Take your time. Great snow on the mountain. My focus today is more music that comes out of Texas as an influence for the genre we call country. Please remember, Radio Free Minturn is supported by AXS Vail Valley is a nonprofit corporation that encourages the growth and accessibility of recreation programs and services for the physically disabled Vail Valley residents and visitors. The mission of AXS Vail Valley is to link existing programs and services, facilitate networking among those offerings, promote adaptive recreational services and facilities, and expand public awareness. For more info, call 970-390-2096. That's Swannie's message to you. Now back to Bob Wills, the father of country swing, and as it was played initially out of Texas, this is called Karina Karina.
Been so long, ain't had no loving since you've been gone. Oh, yes, Leon, swing out, boy, swing out. I love Corina, tell the world I do. I love Corina, tell the world I do. Just a little more love and let your heart be true. Heart be true, yes. On Louis. Corina, where'd you stay last night? Tell me, Corina, where'd you stay last night? Come home this morning, sun was shining bright. Don't let that happen no more, Corina. Look out, Al. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys. Again, that's Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys, and an early proponent and the guy that actually popularized Texas swing. What's interesting, I think, about Western swing, Texas swing, whatever you want to use as a title for the beat that you heard, is that it really influenced honky-tonk music, rockabilly music, country rock. I think what's also, and what Wills did that was that became a standard bearer for music and for country music in general, is he really was one of the first guys that used electrically amplified instruments and also reinforced those instruments with drums with a strong backbeat. And that came to be known as I said, as Texas swing. And you superimpose all of that background, the word and the beat, onto a polka or a waltz beat, and that's what you call Texas swing. Now, I think you'll find this interesting. Bob Wills, I'll give you a little quick history. I'll give you a little quick background on Wills. Wills was actually born back in the early 1900s, and he formed a group called the Texas Playboys. They became very regional, very local, up until about, I guess, the mid-1950s, when all of a sudden he had a couple top 10 hits on the Western charts. Ida Red Likes the Boogie and Faded Love. Yeah, those two pieces were his first two pieces that got national recognition. In '68, he was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, and no higher power than the politicians down there in Texas, the Texas state legislation, honored Wills and his contribution to music by naming Wills and Texas Swing as the official music of the great state of Texas. So there you go. There's a little background on Bob Wills. Now, why I mention Wills, and not only because of the his influence on Texas music, but there is a current group. Remember, I'm talking about a guy that was playing back in the 40s. There's a current group that has taken the swing sound, updated it, and I don't like to use that term, but taken the Texas swing music and popularized it to the point where a group called Asleep at the Wheel, one of my favorite current groups, is a group that does the background and the lyrical content, the beat and everything that has to do with Texas swing is part of their music and part of their show. And I'm going to play some pieces from Asleep at the Wheel. And I'll tell you a little bit about these boys in a bit. But anyway, this is Swannie 107.9. Thanks, everybody. It's the 28th of December. We're between Christmas and closing in on the new year. And I want all of you out there to enjoy 2014. I want all of you out there to enjoy your time here in the Vail Valley. Here you go. This is Asleep at the Wheel. And appropriate enough, it is called A Year from Texas.
Now pardon me, stranger, I hope there's no danger to think I'm getting off of my range.
Brother Ray, now I calculate
What's that, Jason?
that you're from my state, and though you may think it's strange,
Well, I allow is how you're from Texas. You talk a lingo that I understand.
and I'll bet my kale that you hail.
Now, even a
from Texas.
pedestrian out there can see the similarity between today's Asleep at the Wheel and the 1940s Bob Wills.
And your eyes are a blue bonnet blue. Oh, shake hands, it's grand, you're from Texas. All together. 'Cause I'm from Texas too. All the way from Dallas, Texas. That's right, boy.
Well, pardon me, stranger, I hope there's no danger. You'll think I'm getting off of my range.
Oh, but I calculate
Tell me, son.
you're from my state.
Oh.
And
All I allow is how you're from Texas. You talk a lingo that I understand.
I bet my kale that you hail from Lampasas, Texas.
Oh, naturally.
'Cause there ain't no escaping a sound. You've got a smile like an acre of sunflowers, and your eyes are a blue bonnet blue. Oh, shake hands, it's grand, you're from Texas. All together. 'Cause I'm from Texas too.
Yeah, you're from Texas. That is the current group Asleep at the Wheel. I'll play a little more of them a little later. Please remember, Radio Free Minturn is supported in part by the Villar Performing Arts Center in Beeve Creek, offering a variety of concert, family, comedy, dance, classical, and Broadway performances throughout the year. The Vale Performing Arts Center is located in Beaver Creek Village. Get a hold of them. Check them out on their website, or better yet, call them. 970-845-8497. And as you can hear in the background, I am, in fact, playing Asleep at the Wheel. It is a proxy for today's version of Texas Swing. And it really is an extension of the great Bob Wills, what he did back in the 40s. Asleep at the Wheel is a group, actually, that was started. Let me think about this. They were started back in the late 60s. Ed, is that right? Yeah? Okay, well, Ed's good for some. Yeah, 1969, they were started in Paw Paw, West Virginia. Started by two guys named Ray Benson and Lucky Ocean. And they've been a group now, and as I said, started in 69. Their popularity and their music continues to be traditionally a swing, and yet they pack them. They put on a great road show. If you ever get a chance to see these guys on a tour, you got to see them. They play the honky tonks. They love to interact with their audiences, so they love to do live performances. And as I said, Benson and Ocean started these guys in 69. Benson is still with them, believe it or not. In 1987, the band released a CD called 10, which won them their second Grammy for Best Country Instrumental. That particular album, and you're going to find this interesting, and this is the 06 Degrees of Separation. That particular album, released in 87, featured the legendary fiddle player Johnny Gimbo. Johnny Gimbo actually played for Bob Wills, the guy that I had in the band I had featured earlier on today's program. So here you go. The Asleep at the Wheel group, in their second album in 87, features a guy from the original swing group, Bob Wills. And the band has seen turnover of old members leaving and new members entering. But to the credit of Ray Benson, it's been a very seamless transition, and the music continues to be great. You got to get out and see these guys. They launched a tour called the Route 66 Tour in '93, and I believe they're going to kick off another road. Now, their road tours tend to be very regional. They tend to be Texas, Oklahoma. Maybe they get up into Nebraska. I don't know that. But as Rolling Stone magazine said, they're really an iconic group, and if you get a chance, you got to see them. I'm going to get back now to another piece by Asleep at the Wheel. This is called Cotton Eye Joe. Yeah, that's a fiddle in the background there, a strong part of the band. And as Robert Earl Keen did earlier, and as Bob Wills had done, the fiddle is indeed a prominent part of country music and Texas swing. You're listening to Swannie 107.9, and you're listening to Asleep at the Wheel. Now, normally what I do, as I always do, I guess, on my Saturday program, is I will profile a Western movie, and today I'm going to profile one that I think a lot of you have either seen or heard about. And it's a movie done in the 50s, in the early 50s, by the great John Ford, and it also happened to feature another John, whose name is John Wayne. And the movie I referred to is She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. Filmed in 49, I think it was released in 1950. What's important about this movie is the film was shot on location, and quite frankly, up until this particular period of time, in other words, the late 40s, on location, particularly Western movies shot on location, was a very localized event that happened in the California area. But this particular movie was, in fact, shot at Monument Valley, and it really utilized large areas of the Navajo Reservation along the Arizona-Utah border. Now, this merits you revisiting or visiting the movie. The story is okay, but I think what's important about, in fact, I know what's important about this movie is the way John Ford used the environment, used the topography to frame the movie and frame the storyline. In many respects, he did that first in what I consider one of the top 5 Western movies of all time. His movie in the earlier 1940s called Stagecoach, which again was a John Wayne movie. He did, I guess you'd call him a trilogy of Westerns called Stagecoach, The Searchers, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance was not filmed in Monument Valley, but certainly The Searchers and Stagecoach was, as is She Wore a Yellow Ribbon. So I'm going to say get out and check this movie out if you haven't seen it in a while. You're sitting at home, you get on your Dish Network, you get on cable, you go on demand, and pay attention, hey, we all love John Wayne, but pay attention to the cinematography and pay attention to the use of the topography and the way the story is framed by camera. That is the genius of John Ford, and so that's my shout out for the movie of the day, I guess the movie of the week. And if you haven't seen it, see it. If you have seen it, see it again. Now I am going to get back to another piece by Asleep at the Wheel, and I love this group. If you get a chance to see them, see them. This is called Boogie Back to Texas, Asleep at the Wheel.
Just can't wait. Look out, boys, I'm headed your way. I got a mind that wanders in a 57 Chevrolet. Hold on tight, I got a license to fly. With the pedal to the metal, watch me roll on by. While I boogie back to Texas. 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 We're gonna boogie back to Texas. Ain't beats to the mile. West Virginia, on the way, rolling through Ohio, gonna make it to Kentucky, gonna make it by the morning if I'm fast and lucky. Hold on tight, I am homeward bound. I'm gonna boogie back to Austin, back to my hometown. Boogie back to Texas. 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 Boogie back to city's just a memory. Fort Worth, Dallas, just to roll on by. Waco, less than 50 miles. Clear the road, I'm headed your way. I'm gonna boogie back to Texas, cross the U.S. of A. Boogie back to Texas. Boogie back to Texas. Boogie back to Texas. Boogie back to Texas. Gonna boogie, 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 boogie back to Texas. Boogie back to Texas. We're gonna boogie back to Texas, 8 beats to the mile. Let's go, boy. Yeah. Woo. Ah. Woo. We're gonna boogie back to Texas, 8 beats to the mile. Can't you see I'm on my way? Boogie!
Yeah, boogie back to Texas, asleep at the wheel. Hey, to give you a little, here's a little sidebar about these guys. In 2000, they did a piece called Roly Poly with the Dixie Chicks, and they were nominated for an award for Vocal Event of the Year, which they won from the Country Music Association. That same year, Asleep at the Wheel, I'm talking about when I say same year, the year 2000, they had toured with Bobby Dylan, George Strait, Dwight Yoakam, Vince Gill. Oh man, do I love his voice. The great Merle Haggard. You talk about the guy that really was one of the founding members of the Bakersfield sound. So these guys got street cred for sure. They put on great music. They've been around for a while. You got to see them. I just heard from my man Ed. He's up in northern Michigan. They got 4 or 5 feet of snow. We got a lot of snow here in Colorado, and I understand the great Barnett is sitting with him, and they are listening to this program right now. So, hey, hello, and I see that my man Larry and I see Mike. Those two guys are associates at Axles. I understand they when they drove in today to do their thing at the Axle shop right there in Vail. I understand they were listening on the radio. So thank you for tuning in. Please remember that this is public radio at its finest. I'm talking KLNXLP right here in Minturn. And thanks everybody. I enjoy this program. I enjoy talking with you. I enjoy having everybody join us, and it's a great day. Take it easy. Enjoy yourself. 2014 is right around the corner. I am now going to segue to another group. This is not a continuation of the swing sound, but this is one of my favorite current Texas groups, and it happens to be Rusty Truck. Oh, man, I love these guys. So I'm going to play a couple pieces from Rusty Truck. Again, the whole focus is music that has come out of Texas and the influence it's had on country music today. The importance of Texas music, as I have indicated, is, again, it is now embedded in Western music. The importance of the groups that I'm playing is that they continue to love to do live performances. They love interaction with their audience. So here you go. It's all good. Rusty Truck from their album, Kickertown.
It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. Wanna take some time and get swallowed up. Wanna look into your eyes. I'm tired of all this running around. Wanna take my good old time. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. I used to love to play the game that a young man says he knows. Never took the time to settle down in the blues of love's undertow. Now I'm set aside to sing along to another sweet harmonize. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. Here we go. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. Wanna take some time and get swallowed up. Wanna look into your eyes. I'm tired of all this running around. Wanna tell you one more time, it's all good, it's good to be with you tonight.
Oh, yeah, I see Uncle Dave out there in Chicago is listening in. Hello, Dave. Yeah, I did spend a little time with the Colonel last night. That's right, Colonel Taylor. And I hope to see you when you get back out here. And I know Terry's looking forward to seeing you again.
I've chased my tail so many times I got locked inside my gloom. Then you came and through the other door of this broken down old lonely room, and you cast aside this crazy spell, let me have stone hypnotized. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. Wanna take some time and get swallowed up, wanna look into your eyes. I'm tired of all this running round, wanna tell you one more time, it's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight. It's all good, it's good to be with you tonight.
Yeah, that's Rusty Truck. And please remember, Radio Free Minturn is supported in part by Lone Star Security, providing security and safety services in the Vail Valley for the past 12 years. To find out more about Lone Star Security, you just simply contact Lone Star Security at 970-949-1918 or online, lonestarsecure.com. They provide it all and just help you enjoy your period here in the Vail Valley. I'm going to play another piece by Rusty Truck, then I'll segue and give you a little background on these guys because it's a group that I really love. Again, it's a flavor of the Texas sound that I like to listen to them. I think a lot of you out there enjoy listening to them. But if you ever get the chance to see Asleep at the Wheel, Rusty Truck, and the groups and individuals that I'm playing today, man, it is a real experience to listen and participate because it is audience participation with these guys. Here's a piece now called Buildings. Again, this is Rusty Truck.
All my days I was writing down these blues songs, nearly going out of my head in a world where hidden lies have gone wrong. Staring down on a dead-end highway and never gonna see it my way, waiting for the one who may never come. And I don't want to be the soldier, spend my life all over.
Hey, JP, send me a text when my skis are done. I know the general's working on them right there at Performance Sport.
What am I supposed to do, yeah? What am I supposed to do? Well, this love, big as a building. What am I supposed to do, yeah? What am I supposed to do, girl? Love, big as a building.
Rusty Truck. This is country music as it should be. Right here, Swannie 107.9, Minturn Radio, 8 to 10. And I'm going to move I guess 8:30 at some point, but folks, stay tuned. This is great music. I'm on for another half hour.
Why we went wrong. Ever lost on a dead-end highway? I never see it my way, waiting for that one who may never come. And I don't want to be the soldier and live my life all over, waiting for that one who may never come. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Well, this love big as a building. What am I supposed to do? Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Well, this love is big as a building. What am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do, girl, when this love is big as a building? What am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed to do, girl, when this love is big as a building?
Yeah, Rusty Truck, and there's your piece called Buildings. Yeah, Ed, no, I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it. I am going to play some more Rusty Truck for sure. Here's a little sidebar information about Rusty Truck. I think you'll find this interesting. The group was started by a guy named Mark Sigler, and it was actually started back in the 90s. Like a lot of aspiring country musicians and songwriters, they had day jobs, but Sigler had kind of an unusual job. Actually, he was in L.A., and his day job is he was a well-known photographer, and had actually been shooting a lot of portraits of public figures, politicians. Oh, God, don't you love those guys? But had shot rock stars and film rock stars from Jay-Z to the Dalai Lama. He did magazine photos for Time, Rolling Stone, GQ, and Vanity Fair. And while he was doing his photography, he had always been interested in country music. The boy was born in Amarillo, Texas, and he was the son of a traveling pipe salesman, believe it or not. Grew up in Houston, as I said, moved to L.A. to become a photographer. He loved to write on his days off, so to speak, country music, and ergo started the group called Rusty Truck. And now he is full-time. Their first album, actually I'm wrong about that. It was their second album called Kickertown, which is the album I am featuring today. But I'm going to play another piece that's a little background into how Rusty Truck got started. He really writes, I think, in the traditional country style. Not what I'm going to call Nashville's current focus on pop rock, but again, traditional country music. Great lyrics, great accompanying bands, and it's a tribute to roots, to the root music of country. So again, here you go. This is another piece called Good Is Gone, and it's Rusty Truck. I'm Swannie 107.9. Thank you for joining me today.
Yesterday's as good as gone. Tomorrow's bound and gonna bring me home. Today's the last time that my love is gonna do me wrong. Yesterday is good as gone. Oh, my sweet gal, she wore my ring. She stole my heart with a lock and key. Today I'm drowning in the sadness where blue waters weep. Sing my song and yesterday is gone. Yesterday is as good as gone. Tomorrow's bound and gonna bring me home. Today's the last time that my love is gonna do me wrong. Yesterday is good as gone. So I left
Yeah, this is really country music. Not what the Goobers Georgia Florida line play, but this is it. This is what you really need to understand about country music. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to the band company, not overpowering.
The track to the engine, yes. Well, I know what I know is considered bliss. Whistle sings my song, and yesterday is gone. So I send my loving just to one more kiss. The title to the track to the engine, yes. Well, I know what I know is considered bliss. Whistle sings my song, and yesterday is gone. Yesterday is good as gone. Tomorrow's bound and gonna bring me home. Today's the last time that my love is gonna do me wrong. Yesterday is good as gone. Yesterday is good as gone. Tomorrow's bound and gonna bring me home. Today's the last time that my love is gonna do me wrong. Yesterday is good as gone. Yesterday is good as gone. Yesterday is good as gone.
As I said, Rusty Truck, Mark Ziegler started this group back in the 90s. Actually, they did a couple local juke joints, and I guess you'd call them juke joints. Actually, you call them nightclubs because it was in L.A. But Lenny Kravitz actually had caught one of the shows and encouraged Ziegler to get more forceful, get more involved in his music, and ergo Rusty Truck was created. Swannie, Saturday Morning 107.9. I'm going to play another piece from Rusty Truck right now. It's called Crackerjack Sunday, and again, this is from their album Kickertown.
Sunday on a switchblade knife. Money puts a hole in my pocket tonight. I'm coming home to see you, and Lord, I'm trying to make time. I'm heading home from Dallas on the old 45, and it looks like it's never gonna end. I'm looking out your window, cool pouring rain. Kimmy puts another record on the old stereo. We'll dance away our troubles forever again. Kerosene matches and the lots on fire, running like a month full of Sundays tonight. The boys are in trouble, they got the wings of desire. The devil doesn't catch you, the angels never tried, and it looks like it's never gonna end. I'm looking out your window, cool pouring rain, and Kimmy puts another record on the old stereo, and dance away our troubles forever again. Mama's in the kitchen, she's got the radio on. She's moving to the sound of the teardrops falling. We all know the footsteps of a slow-moving song. When Daddy comes on home, we'll be singing along, and it looks like it's never gonna end. I'm looking out your window, cool pouring rain, and Kimmy puts another record on the old stereo, and dance away our troubles forever again. Kimmy puts another record on the old stereo, and dance away our troubles forever again.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Swannie 107.9 featuring Rusty Truck along with some other great voices and great sounds that come out of the state of Texas. Hey, I'm going to get into one of my favorite female vocalists. I don't know if a lot of you have heard of this gal, but you will. I am talking about Jolie Holiday. Oh, man, I love her voice. And she is a great story. She is an up-and-coming voice out of Texas. She does regional tours down in that area. You got to get her in. You got to see her debut album, Real Good Days. Not see it, but listen to it. And much of her child, I'm talking about Jolie Holiday, was actually spent on her granddaddy's ranch, the Bar T, in Karnak, Texas. And her music, she was born in Dallas. I just want you to listen to her voice. I think she's got a great future. I love the gal. This is Jolie Holiday. I don't need champagne. Hey, I know the PMG girls out there. They love their champagne. So here you go. I don't need champagne. Jolie Holiday.